How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Wolf. Welcome to my Frostbolt Occultist. This is a build that I've been working on for quite a while now. This is my kind of successful league starter, and it was originally a Patreon build as well. You can find the links to that in the description if you want to make me play stupid shenanigans. He wanted me to mess with some of the new spellcasting stuff and play an ES-based Occultist. Something I don't play very often, and I didn't really know how to do, if I'm entirely honest, but I feel like I did pretty well. Now, damage-wise, it could have been a little better. It did kind of cap out not so much very early, but I feel like it would cap out probably tier 14-ish if I was able to get up there. My Atlas right now is kind of a joke. I'm at like tier 8 on my Atlas right now. My RNG this league has not been up to par, although I kind of took a little bit of time off in regards to synthesis, because it wasn't really great Atlas-wise and map-wise and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I am back, and I want to showcase this character, because it's a lot of fun, honestly. It was my first attempt at a lot of different things. It was a learning attempt for me. It was spell crit and ES, mostly, or like CI style ES. You see I got that nice 1 life right there. So, let's give you a little bit of a rundown on how this character operates. I kind of want to save these for showcase, but I have extras, so it doesn't really matter. Just throw this fella in here, and I shall show you how this ES crit Frostbolt character operates. It's quite nice. It's quite satisfying as well, because you're able to get Herald of Ice shatters that destroy the entire screen. Aside from me lagging, this might be a betrayal map for all I know. It's a possibility. We don't really have much in the way of like worries either. Got a lot of damage reduction, lots of just base health as well, with the almost 7k ES here. Lots of crit. It's very satisfying all in all. I also have my Atlas shaped so that Geode is a spot that will bounce back and forth. Reason being is because I'm playing CI. The Geode boss does all chaos damage. I can't hit that thing. The Geode boss does all chaos damage, which means I take no damage from him. So it's pretty good. I can farm this endlessly, and I don't have to worry in regards to bossing. Whilst the character is not the best at doing said bossing, let's grab that while we're here, it doesn't have to worry at all, because any chaos damage related stuff, of course, thanks to CI, I don't have to care. These puddles on the ground that would do chaos damage aren't an issue to me. You see the satisfying sounds of crit going off over and over again, because I have about 54% spell crit. So every other cast of Frostbolt is a critical. One thing that I learned quite early on is that Frostbolt, with its new Unleash mechanics, will snapshot very kind of oddly. Essentially, if you throw a Frostbolt Unleash cast, either the entire thing is going to crit or nothing is going to crit in regards to the Unleash setup here. That's one of the new skill gems that was added recently in regards to synthesis with the new hand casting rework and whatnot. Even though my next character that I'll be playing a lot of is totem based, because, you know, fuck playing meta obviously. But yeah, that is what's allowing me to create lots of projectiles at the same time. It's basically Spell Echo's cooler cousin, if I'm entirely honest with you. It regenerates rather quickly and lets you throw multiple projectiles very, very fast and effectively. And let's go into the boss here, just so I can show you what I mean. Boss really does nothing to me, other than, you know, smacking me in the face. But bossing requires Unleash to be rather high up, and then it requires crits as well. So, bossing is not spectacular in regards to this character. I only got it to tier 7, right? So, bossing takes a little while, but it's more of a map clearer and league starter type thing. So, yeah. That's a little bit of gameplay showcase in regards to this character. Not really optimized for bossing, very heavily optimized around delve, incursion, synthesis, that sort of stuff, speed, clear type thing, because the projectiles travel from you about 2 screens. So in a map like delve, where you can just fire projectiles straight, in incursion, where everything's grouped up and you get massive crits that just detonate the Herald of Ice over and over and over again. And in delve, this character is exceptional in delve, because you fire your projectile just straight ahead, and you destroy everything. Same thing with like blood aqueducts farming or channel farming or doing that sort of stuff. You get the right map going and you just speed through it by shattering everything. Very, very satisfying. Lots of fun. Now, in regards to gear, all in all, it's not really that bad. My wand isn't spectacular. I've got spell damage, cold damage, and crit. Cold dispels would have been nice here as well, but all in all, it's okay. The crit dispels is very, very massive. I believe, I'm not entirely sure if it's a crit implicit wand, but I don't even think you'd want to aim for that. Spell damage wands are just all around exceptional. Don't really aim for anything else. Now, I kind of messed with using a shield. I currently have a decent one, which is spell damage, life, which is wasted, lightning res, and then max ES. That lightning res is actually needed to cap this character on resists, sadly. So I'm rolling with that right now. That's also to get me up to a higher ES amount. I was aiming for 7 to 8k if possible. Really just experimenting with how high I could get. And the shield let me get it higher, so I figured, you know, why not? Ultimately, if you get 2 good wands, it's probably the better option to run 2 very good wands. All in all, not bad. Decent ES, high quality. It's an ES piece with some spell damage on it. Not spectacular. Life rolls wasted, but it's how it be sometimes. Helmet is a rather decent 200 ES piece with accuracy, ES, rarity, which is nice. Keep in mind, we're doing lots of farming in regards to this character. Not much bossing, as I'm sure you witnessed. So rarity is quite nice in regards to killing lots of stuff. It's going to kind of be the same concept in regards to roughly everything. Ring resist piece, ring that is ES with resist piece as well. LE to attacks does nothing. Strength is also wasted. Max mana is very good because max mana actually converts to ES because of your node right here, Arcane Will. 4% of maximum mana as extra energy shield, which means crafts like maximum mana, like I have right here, will result in you getting higher ES as well. So you can kind of stack things up and get even more max ES. It's quite nice. Quite nice. Ultimately, I would prefer to have a second Moonstone rolled well, and this one rolled better, but, you know, it's kind of okay. ES on this would be exceptional, so, you know, you got max ES, and then max mana, so you can get, like, as much ES out of it as possible, but, I mean, it's okay for now. It could be better, but, you know. Now, for a necklace, this is kind of just a piece to tie it all together. I needed dexterity to make my Herald of Ice level up, so that's where the necklace comes in. It's a dex strength base with dex, spell damage, all res, mana gain on kill. So it's quite nice, all in all, generally. Could be better, could have cold damage crafted on, could have cold damage added on, could have cast speed, could have that sort of stuff. You kind of see where I'm going in regards to that. But it's just to enable everything else. Now my chest piece is where the big heifer kind of comes in. Almost a 400 ES chest piece. You would want to hillock this, obviously, to 30%, I think it is, that hillock does now. 28 or 30. But, you know, with Betrayal still crashing my fucking game, it's kind of hard to do in regards to that. But, I mean, it worked out in the end. I have rather piss poor ES rolls, honestly. Like, it's tier 4, tier 6. But at the same time, I'm still already at a almost 400 chest piece because of that. And max mana. So this is like the god roll I'm kind of talking about. The god roll of prefixes. Alternatively, you know, change the max mana for hybrid. Right, that's the best result you can really get. But this is like the second best result in the current setup I'm rolling with. And then I mastercrafted on resists at the bottom there as well. You would aim for this same type of roll, just overall higher, and try and get max mana to hybrid instead. That would work quite nicely. But yeah, all in all, decent piece, allows for quite a bit. If I was to get this like god roll top tier, this piece alone might even put me up to like 8k if I rolled this perfectly with like tier 1, which, you know, that's a fucking dream. But still, dreams are always nice to have. Gloves are pretty trash, if I'm honest. They have attack speed. These were just kind of a filler piece. 95 ES. This was a holdover because I was waiting to get fingerless silks, and then they never dropped. I dropped like a bunch of melee damage gloves and projectile gloves. Not a single pair of fingerless silks. So no dice in regards to that. I was kind of holding over and waiting for that. But yeah, I kind of ended up just crafting on max ES. Rolled decent ES. 20 qualled it. Nothing spectacular there. And the Bated Breath is actually very nice, because when you drop out of combat, you have to wait like 3 seconds for ES to come back, and Bated Breath basically doubles the time it takes for your ES to recharge, like doubles it faster. So, you know, you're out of combat for 2 seconds and you're back to full ES. It's great. Just flame dash away twice and you're probably fine. It's very, very useful overall. And just pretty wonderful, really. I mean, Crystal Belt is better, I would assume, right? 70 ES is just going to get you higher amounts. But until you get to a Crystal Belt, if you're playing SSF, Bated Breath is a decent start. If you're playing Trade League, obviously none of this shit matters. This gear's all trash. But yeah, so links-wise, we have a Bane, Frostbite, faster casting setup. This is more for bossing than anything, because the other curse application is in Herald of Ice. We have Herald of Ice, Curse on Hit, Frostbite. Yeah, I'm running double Frostbite, because Herald of Ice procs are not going to happen on a boss, let's be honest here. That's what Bane's for. Bane is a new skill from Synthesis that lets you curse everything in this area, with like only a 2-link requirement. So Bane, Frostbite. You don't need Bane, Curse on Hit, Frostbite. You just need Bane, Frostbite, and you can get faster casting as well. To make it even faster. It's wonderful. Now the helmet is faster casting, Flame Dash, Arcane Surge, which is a wonderful setup I recommend you always have when playing a caster to get your Arcane Surge up. Wonderful, as always. This just doesn't even have a stuff in it. I don't know why. Should probably have something there. But yeah, we're only on a 4-link in regards to chest piece. If I wanted to up damage, of course, 5 or 6 link, obviously. I was going to try for a higher chest piece eventually, but yeah. So we got Frostbolt, increased crit, unleash, and increased crit support again. This is for crit chance, this is for crit damage, and then unleash lets us do the little shenanigans we were going with beforehand. Control destruction isn't a bad option. I have it right here. Depends on what your crit is kind of by default, right? All in all, it's not a bad pick. It's probably what I put in the 5th link, depending on the crit scenario. I was messing around at one point with like Vortex and that sort of stuff, and it was okay, but it was too screen fucky for me. So, you know, that's what the area of effects are there for. That concept works if you enjoy never seeing your character. But yeah, we have a Lightning Golem to try and get extra cast speed, and that's cast when with an Immortal Call, and we have a level 19 Discipline in here, because this gives you a ton of ES. With that being said, that is pretty much everything outside of the flasks, which is your crit chance is lucky, onslaught, and then I have bleed, move speed, and freeze removal. You know, my trifecta, right? This flask is very, very useful. I mean, you've already got like 50% crit chance. With this, it gives you like a ghetto 70, so you're pretty much critting every other cast, or like every cast generally, which is wonderful, as always, because you're proccing Herald of Ice and getting nice crits through the pack. Works out pretty well, if I'm entirely honest. For my first attempt at a crit character, and managing to pull in like 41%, just raw, it's pretty good. It's pretty good, in my opinion. But we're going to pop into the skill tree right here. Now, in regards to going Occultist, you want to start out with, I believe I went for Forbidden Power first, because I wanted to get power charges after spending mana. Power charges give you increased crit strike, increased crit damage, that sort of stuff. So pretty decent start to go there early on. And then I went for Wicked Ward, which gives us maximum energy shield, and energy shield recharge isn't interrupted if it began recently, which is exceptional considering, remember, we get our ES back very fast due to Bated Breath. This means you don't have to worry about, you know, it gets cut off halfway through. It's great. So Wicked Ward is exceptional, and Vile Bastion means you can't be stunned while you have ES. Essentially, it's like Unwavering Stance for ES characters. It's exceptional. This is amazing. Last point would probably be Void Beacon, if I'm honest, because cold reduction and reduced life regen rate. Life regen rate on like Einhar bosses sucks, so just stopping that entirely is exceptional. And then nearby enemies have minus 20 cold res. It's always nice, right? Always nice. So skill tree wise, it's kind of a clusterfuck, not gonna lie. But start with spell damage, come out this way. Needed the strength and dex to get my gems up, and then come out and get Annihilation, early crit chance right there. Power charge, because we're gonna very early try and get the power charge on power charge from mana. Then you can go up into cold damage here and grab this jewel socket early as well. I had a holdover from a different character that gave me a Frostbolt jewel, and then I got a second Frostbolt jewel on this character. So early on, I rushed this because I wanted to get this like operational as fast as possible for more projectiles. Grab that. Then make our way over to Breath of Rime, get all of this for cold and freeze chance and cold damage leech as ES, and the whole sort of shenanigans they got going on now. Then pop our way down, get Essence Surge for ES, and you can start kind of messing around with this whenever you need life as well. Leveling it, I kind of kept it hybrid and just like lived with it until Blood Aqueducts. Then I started going full CI and messing around with that later on. But generally, it all depends, really. You can level it CI. I just didn't really deal with it until later. Then from here, come down, get more crit and crit multi here. You can also, if I don't click on that, come down over here to get more crit strike chance and then mana gain on kill. This is huge because in maps like Blood Aqueducts, you just throw out one cast and your Frostbolt will kill probably like 50 to 100 things. I'm not kidding, it's insane. And that's just, you know, your mana's back, just in general. In regards to bossing, don't really have mana problems. Pretty much fine. Come down here, get more crit. Pop over here, get projectile speed and damage, which are pretty decent. Get the power charge right here. This is wonderful. And then grab Soul Thief for spell damage leech as ES. Come back over here. Make sure you make a point available for CI. Get your spell crit right here. Doomcast is exceptional. This is extra ES if need be. I was trying to push for higher numbers. This is probably not required. And then, yeah, make sure you got the ES there. And then you can start going for ES nodes later on. Go entirely ES there, through the ES, and get Arcane Will there. And then come down and get the Jewel Socket here, which will work for Frozen Trail. You want to get this around Act 5, roughly, right? One of these two, if you've got only one or something. In my case, I got this early on, this in Act 5. Put the second one here, and we were good to go. Conduit's here because I don't have Loctonial Caress. Loctonial Caress is a lot better in regards to getting charge generation, like Frenzy Charge generation. This also gives Endurance charges. It's kind of okay. I wouldn't really recommend this setup, honestly. It's kind of a holdover. If you get Loctonials, just drop these 4 points, put them elsewhere. Life will be better for you. But yeah, grab ES there, and that's pretty much the character, if I'm honest. Pretty simple. Life and ES here. Don't care about the life, obviously. You're just there for the ES. I wish Pain Attunement worked with CI. It'd be kind of cool, but sadly it doesn't. One life doesn't count as a low life, because that's technically your maximum. So, that doesn't proc that. But yeah, character's pretty alright, if I'm honest. Big fan. But yeah, that is going to bring us to the end of this build showcase. I don't think I really missed anything. I mean, there's Pantheons, but I just have, like, I don't think I even dealt with Pantheons at all, really. Yeah, I don't even think I really cared. Reduce reflect damage is nice. Chance to reflect enemy chills and freezes. It's always nice. Reflect damage, I guess if you're going to deal with, what is it? If you're going to deal with like reflect maps or elemental maps, you can mess with that a little bit. A lot of these other ones are based on like chaos damage and whatnot. Biggest thing is probably like Relicash is really good, just in general. Being stationary, Tukahama's isn't bad because Frostbolt and Unleash does force you to be stationary a little bit, so that kind of saves you in the long run there. Not a bad option, not a bad option in the slightest. Lunaris isn't really great, you don't want to be near people. Solaris, you don't want to be near people. Brine King, you have stun removal already, and I mean Arakrelli is the only other option really, because I was aiming to get the Queen of the Great Tangle for increased recovery of energy shield if you stop taking damage over time recently. But yeah, never got around to doing that, so if you want to, I'd recommend it. But yeah, that's going to bring us to the end of this character guide. I will show you a bit in the gameplay showcase section of me running some maps. If you want to see that, that will probably be out the day after this episode comes out. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you learned something. And as always, take care, gentlemen.